If you have ADHD, I can almost guarantee you that you probably have clutter. Why? Well, I'm Margaret. I'm a professional organizer and I have been doing this for over 20 years, and I know that they often come hand in hand. There's some really good reasons for that, and I'd like to talk about, just really briefly, what's happening in your brain when you have ADHD and the clutter is not going away. First of all, let me tell you, I don't have ADHD. This is not something I've personally experienced, but I've worked with a lot of people that have. I don't presume to know everything. I would love, love, love you to leave comments telling me what your experience is, what's worked for you, what hasn't. This is going to be a sharing time. One of the things I know about most people with ADHD is they're creative, and that's the part that I want to address today. If you want to have a shot at having a clutter-free or close to clutter-free home, you're going to have to make it a creative process. And I purposely said close to clutter-free. We are not looking for perfection. We're not trying to get something on Pinterest. We're trying to make a place that you can live with the folks that are non-ADHD in your household in peace and harmony, where you're not ashamed or feeling bad about yourself, because you shouldn't, and just a place that brings you peace. Not perfect. If you're a creative, you need to have creative systems. But here's one of the things that I've learned over time. I have developed some really creative systems that worked for people, and then they stopped working. Here's what I now advise. I think you need it, well, probably not more than, but I think you need 3 great creative decluttering systems. Why? Because no matter how good a system that you come up with is, when it gets old, it's not fun anymore and you will set it down. If you have 3 systems, you can rotate between them. So that's number 1. Number 2, I really suggest you gamify things, and I'm going to talk about a couple ways to do that. That makes it a little bit more fun, a little more unexpected, potentially a little bit more creative. How can you do that? Well, let me share a couple ideas here. One, I've developed a spin the wheel game. It's free, it's on my website. I'll link to it below, show you a picture of it here. What you do is you just, whether you're on your phone, whether you're on your laptop, put your email address in to get connected, spin the wheel, and it's going to tell you to do something. The games are designed to be 10 minutes or less. Some are 2 to 3 minutes, some are maybe up to 10. If you spin and you get something you don't want to do or you don't have time to do it, just spin again. It's okay. It's your game. You do you. But the idea is that it's not the thing that you're going to use to declutter your whole house. It's not designed to do that. But it is designed to spark decluttering, to kind of get you going, to help you see that there can be fun in it. That's one thing. The other thing is, when you have ADHD, you know that focus is an issue. One of the things that you can do is combine your problem of focusing with your need to gamify. But I'm going to talk about a couple ways that you can do that here. One is take a toilet paper tube, take a paper towel tube, and just pick a spot in your room. It can be anything you want. I think a nice place to start is often a table, an end table, a coffee table, and just look at, let's say it's a table, that table through the tube. You're only seeing that much. Guess what? That's the area you're going to declutter. You're not going to declutter the living room. You're not going to even declutter the coffee table. You're going to declutter that much of what you're seeing on the coffee table. Why? Because you're cutting out all these other things that are noise and distracting to you. Another version of that is take a picture of it on your camera, on your phone, and then take a look. Whatever you see, and you typically want to stand about 3 feet away. If you go all the way across the room, the scope of what you're seeing is going to be too big. If you get too close, you're going to have one thing in the picture. About 3 feet away works well, and whatever's in that picture, that's the area you're going to declutter. Don't spend any more than 20 minutes at a time decluttering. Why? Because it's too broad of a time. You're going to get either distracted or you're going to go into hyperfocus, and neither one of those is going to help you. Set a timer for 20 minutes and declutter. One of the things that can help you stay on track is to self-talk. Literally, talk out loud to yourself. Now I'm picking up this. I'm going to take it over here because books belong on the bookshelf. That's going to help keep you focused. Now set the timer and take 5-minute rest time, just something that refreshes. It could be looking at your phone and scrolling through. I recommend doing something that's a little more refreshing to the soul. Maybe it's a little walk outside, maybe it's listening to a good song, reading some scripture, whatever in that 5 minutes. Set the timer for another 10 minutes, and this is going to be your last session of decluttering. So you did 20 minutes, 5 minutes of rest, now 10 minutes. What do you do in that 10 minutes? Well, you can keep decluttering, or if you created some piles, if you have some things that need to go to other parts of the house that you didn't already do, use the 10 minutes to do that. You don't have to declutter something new. One more thing I want to share with you, and then I'll leave off there and let you leave comments for me. But one of the things is, because you're creative, you like to do projects. That could be crafts, it could be making things, models, whatever. And the problem is not doing those things, but doing too many of them and having too many things out and things not finished. You might think that my advice is going to be do one project at a time, finish it, and then start something else. Your brain doesn't work that way. But what I am going to say is a couple things. Limit the number of projects that you have going. I find that more than 3 is just too many. Don't care how talented you are, how multitasking you are. 3 projects is about all your space and your brain really can and should be handling. You might be saying to yourself, well, that sounds pretty good, except I've got way more than 3 projects in my house, either in a closet or out and about. You know what? One of the things that we might have you decluttering, if you're working with me, is picking the best of those projects. Now, if you've got 3 that you're actively working on, does that mean you can only have 3 in the house? No. But you know what? I think maybe we want to limit that to 6. 3 on the back burner, 3 that you're actively working on at the most. The problem is, if you keep more than that, you might get to it someday. In the meantime, it is creating clutter and bondage and pressure on you. You're always going to have that 6. You're always going to have a lot of options. You're not losing out on anything. You're just gaining freedom. These are a few of the things that I've learned in 20 plus years of being a professional organizer. I would love to have you follow me on this channel. I would love to have you join my email list, and you can just put list in the comments and I'll make sure that you get the link that lets you sign yourself up. And there are just a ton of ways I can help you. So let me do that for you, and you can help me by leaving your story, your journey, your history in the comments.